Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so as I was soundly sleeping, that's actually a lie, I barely slept last night, but that is something completely unrelated. We did actually get an Alliance War Season 48 update, and there are some changes, and it's actually quite a big read-up, so I don't think I'm going to be reading all of it word by word, but we're going to be going through all of that nonetheless. So basically, we get a new tactic, new elite map, we get updated rewards, and 7-star loyalty crystal acquisition change as well. So we're going to hit up the start, because obviously there are some questionable things said in the foreword, but fine. Welcome back to another season of Alliance, where we first want to acknowledge that we have had some teething issues regarding the tuning of tactics, and that there have been problems that stemmed from that. While we intended to increase the difficulty within war, the numbers of players affected by this was not intentional, so we have decided to build up some foundations into the mode to give us granularity. We need to make war not only competitive for higher tier alliances, but also create better experience at different tiers of war. Not only that, we have some exciting developments for the rewards coming to AW, so that we're excited to share with you. Without further ado, obviously off-season, season times, off-season starts basically, well, today. And the season will start on March the 13th. We have new elite map, only affecting the tier 1. So tier 1 will have a new special elite map, which is obviously going to have the hardest version of the tactic. Separating tier 1 audience from the tier 2 and below allows us to tune war experience appropriate for the tiers affected separately. And it makes sense. Like, realistically, it makes sense. Like, even though this means that the top players are going to get harder, take at it, there is typically a difference in between tier 1 and tier 2 alliance. So lack of sorry guys, it's still early. I'm trying my best. Lack of granularity made tuning incredibly difficult. Separating the maps gives us another level to tune. Fine. Map still follows the same layout. Bans on expert and elite map will be split between tier 2 and tier 1 respectively in regard to bans. Challengers will have 1 whitelist, 1 blacklist. Expert map will have 2 whitelist and 2 blacklist, as will the elite map. Again, this granularity will allow us to properly tune each map's experience. Reward update, possibly always the most important. To inject some novelty and identity in Alliance War rewards, we have added some 7-star rank up materials into the season rewards of Alliance War, specifically tier 4 Alpha Catalyst shards from Masters to Plat 2. So even up until Plat 2, you can get some tier 4 Alpha. In addition, we have heard time and time again from top alliances that AW rewards don't justify the time and effort required. We will be experimenting with some more novel rewards for AW. Beginning with the X Magica saga for seasons 48 and 49, only 7-star Scarlet Witch Classic will be awarded in ranked rewards for the top 10 alliances in war. Aside from the limited pool X Magica crystals, this will be the only place to get 7-star Scarlet Witch for foreseeable future. We are excited to see how this shakes up the competition at the very top. This idea I like. I don't like that I picked Scarlet Witch, which is effectively a Sig 200 or bust champion. But I do like that top 10 alliances will have extra incentive, because at the moment there's barely any difference in between, top 10 masters and top 20 masters. And this definitely should give kind of like a bit more fire under the butts of people when there is a whole kind of 7-star of a difference, or a unique or exclusive 7-star. So this is something that I definitely look forward to trying to compete for as well, because New Nation is a good alliance. We don't make top 10 or top 3 every season, but we often do. Now, however, it is going to be harder, because there will be more alliances who will actually kind of like do their best to get there. So I look forward to it. I actually kind of encourage things like that. I think this just creates and breeds healthy competition. 7-star hero crystal shards are being removed from ranked reward pool and replaced with loyalty crystal shattered tokens in their place. Loyalty crystal shattered tokens can be traded for loyalty crystal shatter or 7-star hero crystal shards, and 15 loyalty crystal shatter can be traded for the 7-star loyalty crystal for Paragon Plus only. For example, if a summoner wants to get the 7-star loyalty crystal, they can follow this path. A trade-in item will be made available for the players where they may trade in 100,000 loyalty for 1 loyalty crystal shatter with no limits. Players can trade in 1 loyalty crystal shatter token into 1 loyalty crystal shatter. And players can trade in 15 loyalty crystal shatter into a 7-star loyalty crystal, an 80-day limit. So that effectively more or less makes it the same with the 82-day limit and with the amount of cost that will be required in terms of loyalty in order to get the loyalty crystal. However, if you aren't Paragon yet, or you are more interested in the base pool 7-star shards, we'll have the following option to play with. Players can trade in their loyalty crystal shatter tokens for 1,000 7-star hero crystal shards with no limit, which means you can always exchange 1 million loyalty for 10,000 7-star shards, basically. So there you go. With these changes, effectively mean is that players will have option to use their ranked rewards to either access the 7-star loyalty crystal or to access the same number of base pool 7-star shards as were in the rewards before this update, which again is fine. The only worrisome part of it is that because the 7-star shards in Alliance War rewards got updated relatively frequently, right? And Kabam also needs to keep updating this. They cannot just, throw this in and leave it there, because this is also something that needs adjusting over time as the 7-star economy changes. With 7-star hero crystal shards taken out of the rewards in Alliance War, here is what we're adding to each of the brackets. So Masters 1 gets 2 7-star Scarlet Witch, 1 full tier 4 Alpha Catalyst, and 15 of those Shatter tokens. Making it to Masters will get you 1 7-star Scarlet Witch, half a tier 4 Alpha, and 9 loyalty crystal shatter tokens. And in Plat 2, you get 9,000 tier 4 Alpha shards, 4 loyalty crystal shatter tokens. Basically. So they effectively have added tier 4 Alpha to the rewards. Now, ultimately, it's obviously an improvement. It is a fairly significant chunk of tier 4 Alpha as well for current game economy. So that should again help to incentivize people to try and play a bit more Alliance War. Defensive tactic tuning. With the second season of Crush 2.0 ending, we now have a new tactic that we have been cooking up. We wanted to bring back some old favorites and give them modern facelift in line with the rest of the current Alliance War meta. So without further ado, we wanted to introduce you to the new form of stubborn Magic Thief. And this sounds kind of rough, but attack tactic counters it basically completely. So this will mean that you do not want to get caught out using a non-tactic attacker against a tactic defender, basically. So let's go with that. Magic Thief defenders gain a stackable indestructible passive every 5 seconds, or when their attacks are dodged, evaded, or miss. Max stack 7. This timer is paused during the defender's specials. As long as this indestructible passive is on the defender, they gain 15% of a bar of power when hitting the attacker's block. 1 indestructible passive is removed whenever the attacker well-timed blocks. These effects cannot be affected by ability accuracy reduction. So every 5 seconds, that's fast. So you're going to have to parry so much to get rid of those indestructibles if you're using a non-attack tactic attacker. This sounds like Timeout City or just very, very, very long fights. Again, using non-tactic attacker against tactic defender. Obviously, attack tactic is there to help you with that. If the attacker has the X magic attack, their well-timed blocks grant them indefinite 2% prowess passive, max stack 7. When an X magic attacker strikes Magic Thief defender, they pause their indestructible timer for half a second. When a Magic Thief defender activates indestructible passive, it and 1 prowess passive from this tactic is instantly removed. These effects cannot be affected by ability accuracy reduction. This will basically mean it so that you completely ignore the defensive tactic for most part, because as you're going to be striking the opponent, you're going to be pausing the indestructible timer. Every time you parry, you're going to get your prowess, and you're going to be removing the thingies. So this will make it seamless. So again, here the tricky part will be non-tactic attacker against tactic defender. Sounds like an absolute nightmare of a time. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we have the defensive and offensive champion tags. So at this point, I 100% know that I will have to end up ranking one of these champions or two for defense, because White Mommy already poked me about that, but that's fine. We're gonna see what happens there. But ultimately, aside from the blacklist and whitelist, obviously, so for elite maps, Ghost and Scorpion, for white blacklist, and for whitelist, Hercules and Warlock. And for expert maps, Ghost and Kingpin, and also whitelist, Hercules and Warlock. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, fine. That is the update. Well, it does shake up Alliance War, and let's face it, here is gonna be the truth of the matter. It's not gonna be worse than the current 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons. The last 2 seasons were an absolute miserable time. I know a lot of people who just stopped playing Alliance War altogether. And, I hope it's fun. The updates that they're making make sense. Happy to see Tier 4 Alpha in Rank Rewards. Happy to see a chance to compete for the 7-star, Scarlet Witch as well. So let me know what you guys think. This definitely, is better than just here's new tactic type of thing. Witch Kabam continuously worked on game modes like that, not, every once in a while. Right. God, I need more coffee. But meanwhile, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button. And I'm going to catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about